Hey guys, it's me again, Nardboy, and I'm continuing the rant I started a while ago. If you haven't seen the first part of this rant, I recommend watching that first, as it gives a fairly detailed backstory about the guy I'm ranting about in this video. Now guys, this is the video I was really waiting for. This is the stuff that fires me up to even make a video like this. In this video, I'm going to be covering everything that I hate about VETEX. His crappy ideas. First off, the idea of Arcane Adventures is already kinda messed up. Your first impression is probably something like One Piece plus Fairy Tail, so basically one tale or fairy piece or something. The problem with this idea is the fact that the universes just don't mix. You got one end, One Piece, about pirates looking for fruits that give you special abilities, but then you got Fairy Tail, about wizards already having abilities. The idea isn't bad, but VETEX's ideas are so unpolished and uninspired that it really doesn't matter. On top of all that, the game is way too jumbled up. I tried to become an all-strength boxer, but that didn't work at all because, 1, he's neglected every old feature in the game. Go ahead, comment below and tell me that every time you've tried to punch someone, it actually lands and the hitbox hasn't glitched up. 2, boxing is overly weak. Like literally, if you max out your strength to the current cap, level 220, you still might as well be hitting them with a wet noodle anyways. And that's another thing I haven't mentioned yet, Arcane as a whole just isn't frickin' balanced. You got lightning on one end, capable of doing like 600 damage or something like that, but then you got boxing still slapping you in the face with spaghetti noodles. I remember at one point, I don't know if this is still a thing, but Impact Uncharged did 8 damage, even though it's a charged punch, like it's still a punch just charged up a tiny bit, but it only did 8 damage. I don't get VETEX's logic behind that. You also got a lot of glitches in the game that have probably pissed off Arcane players in the past too, but the thing that really pissed me off, this may have been subject to change at one point, but if you get infected, you can't buy a potion to heal yourself because you don't have full health. That idea as a whole, buying things only if you have a certain amount of health, is so dumb I can't comprehend it. If VETEX is going for realism here, do you really think every merchant you passed by, if you had a broken leg, would just refuse you? They wouldn't sell you their product? It's honestly freaking dumb. There's also the Sky Skates. You get Sky Skates after you get to Cumulus Island upon defeating Ramses, even though he's like near impossible for low players, so you'll probably get there sooner just by getting to level 60. Anyway, the Sky Skates have become a useless feature in the future. I mean, seriously, what's the point of keeping Sky Skates if they literally have no use past the first sea? Why are there only Sky Islands in the first sea? And that's another thing. Once you get to a certain level, you don't even spawn on Cumulus anymore, so you have to sail all the way back to the Sea Cannon, wait for 5 minutes, refill your Sky Skates on the clouds, and then eventually use about 10 to 15 seconds worth of flying in the future. I believe VETEX should have waited to introduce Sky Islands and Sky Skates until later on, because you're literally walking around on a cloud as a human being. Why is this such an early on feature that isn't even continued later on in the game? Oh boy, we got a lot to cover here. I'll start by giving VETEX credit. The magic in this game looks polished and really well made. You can actually tell that water is actually water instead of weird dark blue plasma or something like that in other games. And each magic has their own particles and unique traits. To an extent. It may look good for Roblox's standards, but the attacks themselves are so uninspired and generic. Allow me to describe lightning magic for you, alright? Generic lightning bolt, generic grab attack, a pretty cool lightning stomp, I'm not gonna lie, even cooler, but brutal grab attack, and then freaking lightning spirit bomb. No joke. A spirit bomb made of lightning. If that isn't original, I don't know what is. Now I have tons of ideas for the magic in Arcane, but to save you guys like 15 more minutes of sitting in this video and the fact that this is a rant video, I won't go into that right now. What I really wanted to talk about was the crappy excuses of original ideas that VETEX has. I mean seriously, Lightning and Darkness's ultimate attacks are the exact freaking same, Fire's and Light's ultimate attacks are the same thing with different damage and rate of fire, and Water, Wind, and Earth's ultimate attacks end up being the only truly original attacks, and even they don't feel inspired or special, especially considering Wind's ultimate attack is just a generic giant tornado. Granted, VETEX does make it feel somewhat like you're getting stronger through the gradual growth of your attacks, but that still feels like it doesn't matter when the whole game is so unbalanced. In fact, VETEX's idea of balancing is basically every magic has the same moves. You know that process that I listed a bit ago for lightning magic? Well, guess what? Plot twist. It's like that for every magic except for the ultimate attacks. I'm not joking. Basic range attack, basic grab attack, basic AoE attack, basic grab attack again, and then your ultimate attack. Oh yeah, and a shield, but the shields are all the same, so you don't have to worry about that. Don't get me wrong, I haven't forgotten that each magic has different quirks to them. Like, Fire has moderate damage and good damage over time, Light has moderate impact damage, and Earth has high impact damage, which makes sense. But then you got Lightning, which has high impact damage and high damage over time. Last time I checked, you don't take continuous high damage when you get shocked, you just get stunned or paralyzed or something. Then you got Darkness, which pisses me off on every level, because it was supposed to be similar to Light in the way that it's just moderate impact damage, but instead VETEX got impatient and gave it damage over time too, when instead he should have just waited to give it to a mutation in the future. And that reminds me, VETEX has been hyping up mutations for a year and a freaking half, and still has mentioned nothing about it, even though it's so relevant in the second and third seeds. Am I the only one angry about this? I'll try to keep this quick from how mad I am about this, but if you want to see the perfect example of VETEX's and his admin's brain processing, allow me to show you his ideas for the third melee attacks, alright? Magic Fist has got this paralysis crap, which apparently lets someone freeze someone else with their magic, even if they have a magic that doesn't let them freeze anything, which makes absolutely no sense. I believe just like an explosion of magic similar to how he's describing it would be cooler. And that explosion could have varied enhanced status effects like intense burning or intense shock or something. That'd be actually really cool. Boxing has got this awesome attack that apparently lets you deflect projectiles with a punch, which is the only attack that balances out the fighting style that it's supposed to be. Radius Fist apparently gets this overpowered sounding combination attack that literally affects everyone around them, which I guess wouldn't be a bad idea if it didn't sound so overpowered compared to the other attacks. Swaying Fist gets this underpowered sounding spinning attack, also VETEX. Fix swaying. You can't seriously look at it and say that it's not frickin' broken in some way. Impact. Impact has an attack that lets you freeze someone with internal fear and then blast them with an impact fist. Did I mention that this is my least favorite one from how completely BS it is? You're freezing someone with internal fear, even though the player is probably only feeling intense annoyance at the time that their in-game person is frozen and forced to take an overpowered impact punch to the face. Like, literally, VETEX, do you know how fun an impact catapult would be? Just like, grab someone, and then the higher your impact fist is charged, the farther they get thrown. That sounds fun as hell to use, and it also sounds a bit more logical than freezing someone with internal fear, whatever that means. And then you have Cannon Fist, which sounds like a back-breaking grab attack where you grab someone, throw them up, and then throw cannonballs at them while they're in the air, which would sound cooler if it wasn't so impractical sounding, considering it sounds like you have to break your back just to use it. Like, literally, VETEX already copying Garb from One Piece, just add the giant cannonball, alright? That was way cooler than whatever you're trying to create, alright? I can't find any info on them besides like 2 Deluxe Weapons, so here's a picture of some pool noodles. And here's a picture of a deluxe pool noodle. Get it? Because Deluxe Weapons are... Just kidding, guys. But VETEX, a gun that binds to your chest... Your chest? You know how much of a douchebag you'd look like wearing that? Like you're just walking down the street and then you get mugged by a guy that just pulled a magnum out of his secret gun holder that was strapped to his chest the whole time. So yeah, those are just a few of the annoyances I've had to deal with the past couple years. There might be another video, probably themed around other things VETEX has done, I'm not so sure. So thanks for sitting through this video of me yelling and stuff, and I'll see you guys later.